Voting in Hungary is now complete, with Viktor Orban likely to emerge as the winner once again. But while the election fever may be over, the greater political landscape in Europe would arguably have changed regardless of the result. The war in Ukraine has changed it all, and the shocking reports of extermination of civilians by Russian forces have only served to emphasize that the region's countries must now take a stand. What will Hungary's position be in this new altered environment? Our guest today is Andriy Timofeyuk, economist from Ukraine. Hello and welcome to TVP World.
Hello from Kyiv, Ukraine.
So what is your take on the Hungarian elections? It is likely that Viktor Orban will be claiming victory once again. What does it mean for the region?
I think that for the whole Eastern European region, the win of Viktor Orban could mean the totalitarian success, the success of autocracy. We in Ukraine, from our perspective, we really follow the Hungarian elections, and we really know about the Russian influence that is obvious for the current Hungarian government. Yeah, and we think that it is really important for all of the countries in our region, for democratic countries, uh, to for Hungary to have fair elections first of all, and then the victory of common sense. Yeah.
You said that Orban's victory could actually spell consequences in the form of a rise of totalitarianism in the region, but it seems that Hungary is the only country that is not really doing that much to help Ukraine. All other countries are basically walking the same path, united behind a common goal to undermine Russia's efforts to attack Ukraine. So do you think that Hungary could be giving some sort of negative example to other countries? How would that work?
Well, at first I must admit that Hungary is already suffering from the current situation. I work for Transparency International for 2.5 years, and I know that Hungary is one of the worst countries right now by the CPI, Corruption Perception Index, by Transparency International. Like in 2021, only Bulgaria was lower in this in ranking than Hungary. So, from our perspective, the current government is not effective and it's corrupted, and it is corrupted also because it has apparent links with the Russian government. Viktor Orban
So do you think
numerous
it could be
times.
Russian money at play there?
Of course, yeah. Russia always sponsors authoritarian rulers who follow their interests.
I'm asking
It's
because
like,
Russian money is also a problem in Western democracies. I mean, Gerhard Schröder is a clear example of a politician who later on decided that it would be good for him to be on the Kremlin's payroll.
yeah, now he is on the total Kremlin's payroll. Maybe Viktor Orban will also end up like this. So I just want to say that we in Ukraine right now, from our Ukrainian perspective, we really, out of all our Western neighbors, we have really the least support from Hungary. But it's not from the Hungarian people; it's from the current power in Hungary. So we in Ukraine really support democratic power, and like the current opposition, like the majority of us, and we really think that it will be benevolent also to Hungary itself.
Now, the election in Hungary has taken place at a very special time because yesterday and today there have been images flooding the media, images from the town of Bucha showing the immense brutality, cruelty of Russian forces retreating there with civilians being killed intentionally. I mean, it's a massacre. It's an example of war crimes. What can you tell us about how Ukraine is looking at this situation now? Was it something to be expected from the Russian aggression, that it would come to that, to this sort of criminal brutality, people being killed on the streets?
Yes, I'm personally really shocked by this, and it was doing. I'm right now sitting in Kiev, Ukraine, and this town of Bucha, where it was a famous massacre, is just 17 kilometers from this point where I'm right now, and it's just unimaginable. It's atrocities. We have like numerous proofs, numerous videos of killings, of raping, or yeah, and this is just disgusting and it's just scary. And it was really done in the 21st century. So we Ukraine, we are like in shock when we are really angry. And the latest videos I have seen, it was like really the Katyn massacre, which Poland suffered in 1940, because the same style people just shot in their back. I mean, and it was not even like Polish officers; it was Ukrainian. It were Ukrainian civilians. So this is a main topic right now in Ukraine, and everybody wants to. I don't know for this to end, but also we want some kind of revenge.
Do you think that this will finally be a turning point for the West, seeing those scenes, which, for all practical purposes, this looks like genocide? The intentions of the Russian forces are clear. It's just an indiscriminate murder of innocent civilians. So do you think the West is finally likely to see that this is very much a moment when even more decisive actions need to be taken, such as, for example, a full-scale oil and gas embargo?
I hope that it will be like the turning point for the West. And you asked before, and didn't have time to tell that it was actually expected from Russian forces, because it was already happening. It was in 1990s, the same story as in Grozny, as in Chechnya. Yeah, so it was like this is their style. That's how they do war. Yeah, so there is nothing surprising. So from this point of view, I think that we will really have the increased support of the West, and I hope that it will come. But I don't expect like total embargo, because if they haven't done it in 1990s, then why should they do this in 2022? And just another point of view is like not only from the West but from international community, and I think that United Nations should do really something in order to explain existence at all, because it's just United Nations is made to stop such things. So yeah.
And this brings us back to the elections in Hungary, and this will be my final question because we're running out of time. This situation shows that countries such as Hungary or Serbia, their lack of support for this joint initiative to stop Russia, it's not just an expedient, it seems it's totally immoral right now, unsustainable.
I totally agree with you. We have like 150,000 of Hungarians right now in Ukraine. Yeah, it's a huge number of of their people in Ukraine, and they're also suffering from the Russian aggression. And we hope all of the support of the Hungarian people, at least because they have so many their nationals in Ukraine. Concerning Serbia, it's kind of another point of view, because Serbia is far away. Yeah, and Serbs historically are leaning towards Russian people. Yeah, but I hope that with Hungary we will have really good relations, and the changes to the best will happen.
Andriy Timofeyuk was our guest today here on TVP World. Thank you very much for joining us here.
Thank you.
You're watching TVP World. Please stay with us for more.